Sir, for
If
2 minutes.
that's okay.
Huh?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, good morning, everyone. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you all for the today's webinar on career opportunities in startup. In a world where change is the only constant, startups are at the forefront of innovation, offering professionals not just jobs but missions. Whether you are students starting your career path, a working professional seeking purpose and agility, or someone with entrepreneurial spirit, today's session promises to open doors to new ways of thinking and growing. We are truly honored to have with us Mr. Anish Kumar Singh, co-founder and CEO of Flows and proud alumni of the IIT Bombay. Mr. Singh is not just a seasoned entrepreneur but visionary leader who has built and mentored multiple startups from the ground up. The journey through the dynamic startup ecosystems gives him deep insights into what it takes to succeed, from the skills in demand to the mindset that sets high performer apart. Today, he will be sharing real world experiences, actionable advice, and insider perspectives on the diverse careers avenues in startups, helping you not only understand the landscape but also how to thrive in it. So, without further ado, please join me in gives a warm welcome to Mr. Anish Kumar Singh as we dive into the today's exciting session. Sir, please continue. Hello? Hello, Anish sir? Hello? Hello, Anish sir?
Kadam sir, please check with the call.
Hello, Anish sir?
Hello. Hello. Yes, Amol sir. Yes,
Yes. Yes,
it's
sir. Please
audible.
continue, sir.
Clear now. So, shall I start?
Yeah, yeah, sir.
Actually, there is some network issue on my side, so I'll just keep the camera off for the time being.
Okay,
Uh,
sir.
yeah. Okay.
No, not issue, sir. Yes.
So, sure. Thank you. Thank you for the warm introduction. And okay, good morning, everyone. So basically, today's discussion is on the career opportunities that you will get with startups and what are the relevant opportunities you can try for. So basically, startups are a very good place if you are looking for internship. So as I have done a lot of webinars and workshops with startups, early stage startups. So in the startups, there are one of the things that is very common. So initially, good founders are always looking out for good interns, students who can really are willing to contribute to their capacity. So always you will get those opportunities if you try to find those internships. So LinkedIn is one of those places where you can approach a lot of startups. And from my experience, if you approach some founders, some of the team members of startups, so they will most likely have a discussion with you on how you can contribute to their team. So this is internship is one of the key factors in the career opportunities related to startups. Um, Next, the most important thing I would like to say, if you are looking to join a startup on the internship basis or a full-time basis, is the growth opportunity that you will get financially as well as in terms of gaining skills. So let me give you an example. So let's say after completing your graduation, you join a startup versus a larger corporate or an MNC. So for the startups, generally, what you'll get is not a very linear role, rather a very diverse set of objectives which are under a role. So let's say if you join in as a product manager, associate product manager, let's say. So if you join a larger MNC, generally in the product space, there are four guys: product manager, scrum master, tech lead, and technical product manager. So each of the things are divided in those between those guys. But in the startup space, generally you'll get a very good hands-on experience of all the things. Let's say you are also building the Scrum plan or agile workflow. You are also working on the let's say product strategy, product planning, product execution, and even on the side of product vision and goals. And sometimes in startups, the best part is you'll get these opportunities not by let's say climbing up the ranks or trying a lot of things to switch your let's say domain or something. You will get these opportunities by just trying to ensure ki, yeah, you are willing to contribute. So uh, actually, your voice broke out. Can you repeat that part again? Hello.
Sir, continue.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So yeah, so basically, and if you're looking to join a startup, one part was that you'll get a very diverse set of objectives to work with, very diverse role, cross-functional. You'll learn a lot. Definitely, I would say this personally, ki in 1 to 2 years, you'll learn more than what you'll learn at a larger corporate in, let's say, 5 years. So that is one of the great perks. Apart from that, there is, I think, almost all of you are familiar with some of the crazy startup stories. Let's say, be it Freshworks or NVIDIA, I think comes to my mind as one of the use cases for this discussion. Is basically the initial joiners in a startup. Let's say first 20 guys, people in the startup, they generally get incentivized through one of the tools called ESOPs, employee stock options. And generally in the early stage startups, you'll get a good chunk of ESOPs to work with. And eventually, as the startup grows, your stock value grows that is associated with you. So eventually, if you work there for, let's say, 2, 3 years, startup becomes really big, then your net worth multiplies by a factor which is not possible in a conventional job ecosystem. So another perk is if you, let's say, join a very good and very motivated startup in the early stage, the potential for growth is almost unimaginable. So yeah, this is one of the other parts, key growth financially, growth in terms of skills, and internships are pretty well available across the board. Like you just have to reach out the founders. LinkedIn is a great place to start. So this is, if I have to summarize, this is the first top 3 points that comes into my mind. Apart from that, I think all of you are mostly last year, final year students. So from that perspective, all I can say is uh, try to ensure ki apart from placements, you are also giving chances to I think different startups from your network. So try building some network. Okay, so there is one question from Yogesh. Startup, LLP, MNC. Okay. So basically, MNC is a multinational corporate. So generally, you have to consider consider those businesses which are well established, let's say, which are saturated in terms of growth. Key they are growing, but in the bracket of 20-25%, and they are large enough, let's say, in the turnover bracket of 1,000 crore and plus. So generally, by the our own government's definition, 100 crore and below is what is defined as a startup in terms of Startup India's policies. So let's say turnover of 100 crore and less with a growth story. The startup can grow, let's say, 10 times or sometimes 100 times. That is a startup generally. And for the LLP part, so see, LLP and startup are not really distinguishable. LLP is limited liability partnership. Okay, so when you form a startup or you join a startup, it could be private limited or LLP. In some cases, sole proprietor, but that is not really there. So LLPs and private limited are two types of startup companies that are formed. And generally, if I have to give you some suggestion of joining a startup, focus on private limited startups because they generally are pretty much open for all kind of funding. LLPs are very restricted in terms of funding that they can receive. So always prefer a private limited company to join as a startup. I think there's one more question also. Yes, okay. So I think Yogesh is trying to get this point from a founder's perspective. So I think Yogesh, you are trying to start your own venture, right? So okay. So in my suggestion, always try to form a private limited company for a startup, and that is one of the most important criteria of getting any kind of funds, be it loan, be it grants, be it equity funding, and register with DPIIT, register with MSME India. So get those two certifications right away after you register. Uh, Apart from that, there is Startup India Seed Scheme. So I'll just write in the message also. So because if you're starting up, this is a good place to apply for Startup India. So what I'll say is, if your startup is new, so there is a requirement for Startup India Seed Scheme that your startup should not be older than 2 years. If you have just formed the entity, always go right away to apply for it. Uh, okay, so I think Ayush has a question. Um, if he can grow his career faster in a startup than MNC, I believe personally, if you join a very good rocket ship or a very good motivated startup team, definitely your growth in terms of your skills, your expertise, and your personal growth in terms of, let's say, your finances will definitely be more. So in startups, you have to also consider key, let's say, or in a MNC, you are getting, let's say, 7 LPA or 8 LPA. In a startup, you may get a 5 LPA initially, but you have to consider what is the growth story of the startup. Is it growing? Is it motivating for you? So if you join a startup early on, this is my suggestion. Let's say a 2-year-old startup which is growing, always think from an investor's perspective. Would you like to be associated with this startup for at least 3 years? Would you like to invest some of your money in this startup? Then, if you are motivated by the working of the startup, then definitely you should join it. Maybe the package is 20% less currently. You can definitely discuss the ESOP plan with the startup team. And if you like the vibe, the idea, the execution, the team, do join because I think that will be the better story always. Well, in most cases. In terms of personal growth, definitely. In terms of, let's say, gaining the skills, sure shot. But in terms of finances, you really have to understand how the startup is formed. Definitely, find limited companies. Okay. So yeah, I think pretty good questions are coming in. So, is there any other question if anybody wants to ask? Okay, so what I'll do is just based on the question from Yogesh, I'll just see this discussion. Uh, I have given you the perspective of what are the perks of joining a startup as an employee, as an intern, as a key stakeholder in the company. So I'll also give you the idea if you're starting up your own venture after your fourth year. So there are three things I would say consider before starting up, as this involves your dedication for at least 5 years if you are starting up. So try to find a co-founder with whom you can stay for at least 5 years. Ideas may change, the plan may change along the way, but generally the co-founder will have to stick. The core team will have to stay together. So always start with a very good co-founder with whom you are very comfortable to stay for as long as possible. Okay, so I think Dave has a question. Key is startup stressful to work in because they help you grow a lot. Yes, definitely. In terms of effort, I think as let's say in an MNC you are given one particular role, so you have to let's say train and practice for it for let's say a month, and then you'll grasp mostly the core concepts of that role in a month. But in startups, the roles are ever evolving. So let's say in our company, one of the guys who started out as an APM intern. Initially, the guy was given some execution role on the product side. Eventually, he became a Scrum Master, then product planner. And then eventually he went into the business development scope of the things. Key is the product even feasible to build? Are the customers even willing to pay for the product? So definitely you are challenged with much more things in a startup. If you like the work, definitely you'll find it more rewarding. If you don't like the work, generally it will be a bit stressful in my opinion. Yeah. So yeah, so continuing on, if you're starting up your own startup, so first is find a very good co-founder with whom you're very comfortable to stay as long as let's say 10 years together. Then definitely see ideas will change, but you have to align on what are your key strengths before starting out. So let's say you are very good at let's say some of the AI/ML part or some of the LLM part. Okay, and your co-founder or your teammate is very good at public speaking, communications, or business development stuff. So you have to understand each of the team members what are your strengths. Based on that, you have to align your idea in terms of what you are going to build. And once you have the third point will be once you have a very clear guide, okay, build, I want to build in the let's say mobile reseller kind of space. Okay, something like Cars 24 or something. Okay, you want to build that with your co-founder. Then you have to go and talk to at least 10 uh, potential customers who have a car. In this case, if you are building a platform for people to sell their old cars, you have to at least talk to 10 people who have their car and are minutely willing to sell their car. because you have to understand what's the gap in the market that you are even going to try for. Because there are, as you know, in all of the spaces, in this particular one, uh, particularly, there is Cars 24, Cars Deco, and a few more. I think Spinny is there. So you have to really understand what's the gap, what's the problem that all of these platforms are not solving for their customer. Be it, let's say, for very old cars, they are not very suitable. For tier 2, they may not be very suitable. Okay. For maybe a commercial vehicle, they may not be suitable. So you have to understand what's the problem statement that is very important to your customer that nobody else is solving. So these three things, if you work upon, I think you have a pretty good base to start your startup. Then there is whole process of defining your business model, your exit idea, your revenue model, and everything. That comes later. But these three things, solid co-founder, you have to understand that what is the problem statement that you are comfortable in, like strengths of the team members. And third is what is the pain point of your user that nobody else is on. So I would say these three things you have to consider before starting out. And then you can definitely look for some of the funds. And yeah, so let's say if you are starting out, one of the things I think it was asked by Yogesh. So let's say you have started your private limited firm, and there is Startup India Seed Scheme definitely to support you. Apart from that, you always try to find some of the private incubators. So there are very good startup incubators. If you are, let's say, building in the biotech or some of the core tech space, then Sign from IIT Bombay is very good. And IIT Mandi Catalyst is very good for mobile applications if you are building some kind of app to automate some of the key processes, marketplaces. So IIT Mandi Catalyst generally supports those kind of startups more. So you have to, based on your startup idea, you have to kind of go for a few of these incubators. Try to get into one of these. They will help you shape your idea as we discussed earlier. You'll have to come up with the business model even after these things. What's your product? What's your plan? What's your revenue model going to be? What's your market size and stuff? So incubators kind of handhold you into building these things. So you don't have all the burden in the world. Plus, they can get you some of the early fundings, let's say 5 lakh, 10 lakh. 5-10 लाख का बंदोबस्त तो वो incubators ही जुगाड़ करा देते हैं. So I suggest you if you are starting incubators earlier. Yeah. So any other question if anyone has? So we'll go through the questions and answers more. I think that will be more relevant to what you're seeking. Otherwise, it will be from my perspective because yeah, I would like to understand what you guys need to know about how the startup ecosystem works. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, Amol sir, from my side, uh, I think what I wanted to say is covered. So the floor is
Okay.
open if anybody has any question. I would be happy to discuss that out.
Okay, sir. Is there any questions from audience? Is there any questions?
I would just like to say one more thing. If anybody feels uh, they need to connect with me for any of the discussions, let's say for internships or for future career opportunities, um, definitely do connect with me after this call. I think I'll share my LinkedIn profile also with Amol sir. He'll share it with you guys, and I'll be happy to discuss maybe in future also. So we and happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Okay, so the Nagarkoj sir is asking about the can I get the placement details for mechanical, civil, and yes, sir, definitely I will guide you regarding the placement of the our institute. Despite of challenging, all of you are aware that the challenging jobs markets over the past 2 years, our institute has maintained a strong placement record, demonstrating the effectiveness of our career development initiatives and industry engagement also. There are a few key placement highlights that there are in 2010 20 to 23 there are 140 companies visited to our institute. In that 92% student placed. In that highest package is 70 lakh 27 lakh rupees. In 2023-24 there are 138 companies visited, sir. In that 85% students placed. In highest package is 19 lakhs per annum. In 2024-25 there are 126 companies visited till date on this current year, and 80% student placed, and highest package is 24 lakhs per annum. There are 85% placement achieved annually. In in count of that one 3,246 students placed over the last 5 years. So we have taking initiatives for the skill development activities in institute. For example, the employment enhancement programs, EAP is there. Company specific training programs we are organized. For our dedicated placement cell continues to work closely with recruiters and alumni to ensure students receive opportunities aligned with the current industry demands. And for the mechanical and civil companies, there are mechanical companies are the Mojlix, Ashok Leyland, High Tech Nexta, Cipla, Robotics, and Jyoti CNC, MRF Tires, all are the visited for the mechanical department. And for the civil, there are the Mahindra Life Space, Ashiana Housings, Hormac, Moglix, and Private Limited also. So the second, yes, sir. Yes, second phase is also visited in last 2 years.
Okay, that's great to hear, Amol sir. So yeah, so I think any other question maybe regarding anything about if you want to ask related to startups or maybe what matlab IIT Bombay startup or anything else, I would be happy to discuss. I think we have 10 more minutes left, so we can utilize that.
Is there other questions?
यार अनम्यूटच होत नाहीये हे chat.
मॅडम झालेलं आहे अनम्यूट ते.
Okay, I think Vandana has a question. How do we know if a startup's going to be successful? Well, Vandana, I would say nobody really knows if a startup's going to be successful. Even the investors, those who pour, let's say, 10 crores, 20 crores into a startup, they also don't have a definitive sense if a startup's going to succeed based on their expectations or not. So, as I mentioned earlier, always think from an investor's perspective. If you are joining a full-time startup, be it your package, be it your ESOP, be it your role, because you're going to commit, let's say, 3 years of your growth period, your life to the startup, where the workload will be there up there with top of the responsibilities. So you have to consider ki if the startup's team is good, if the startup's idea is something that you really like or want to be a part of, and you really like the responsibilities given to you. So those are the things that you should consider while joining. Eventually, your contribution is also something that, that the startup will need to become a successful venture. Okay, and risks are basically, as I mentioned, ki if the startup has a track record of not doing good, or if the founders are someone you're not very confident about, or if you find some of the issues in communication. So I would personally say to anyone who is joining my company in reality, ki by communication should be uh, is my priority with you. Ki you should be able to communicate very clearly what you want to do in the company also. Because I will give you the responsibilities, what I think you'll be able to deliver. But even if you think you can deliver a few more things, or if you want to change a few more things, you should be able to communicate with me. So this is something I think will be relevant for all the roles. You should be able to communicate with the core team, founders, or someone who is there, who is taking the ship forward. Okay, so programming languages. See, for tech startup, so generally I'll tell you about the tech stack that we work on. MERN stack is one of the most popular tech stack that you can learn, definitely. And apart from that, what we focus on is Django. So Django is Python based. The advantages is you can easily implement any of the machine learning models. So if your startup is going to deal with, let's say, analytics, machine learning, or any kind of predictive model, generative model, Python is a good place to start. So I think, and it depends on what you are going to build eventually. So yeah, for apps, there is Flutter and one stack is there. So it really depends on what you are looking to build eventually. Okay, Dhanashri is asking about scholarship schemes.
Dhanashree, do you
So
want scholarships for the R Institute? Yeah, okay. Uh, the R Institute offers a wide range of the scholarships to support students from the diverse backgrounds and help them to pursue their education without financial burden. For 18 different scholarship schemes are available for the eligible students. In that, the first one is the Dr. Patangrao Kadam Sahib Freeship and Scholarship. In that, the awarded to the students who excel in sports, arts, and cultural activities. Also, this scheme is awarded for the freeship available for the children of teaching, non-teaching staff, and the alumni. The second scholarship scheme is the Rajashri Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj Shikshan Shulk Shishyavrati scheme. The eligibility criteria for that scheme is the for open category for the students from the Maharashtra only. Must have at least 50% marks in the previous exam. Family income should not exceed rupees 8 lakh per year, and the scholarship amount is 43,000 per year. The third one is the scholarship is the National Scholarship Portal schemes. For this scheme is available for the minority students in that Muslim, Sikh, Christian, Buddhist, Jain, and Parsi. Also, criteria for the eligibility for this one is the minimum 50% marks in the previous exam required, and family income should not exceed 2 lakhs per year. In addition to that, many other state and central government scholarships are available based on merit category and financial need. The institute actively supports students in applying for these schemes. Is any doubt for the scholarship scheme? Yes, definitely on website we will get all the information related to the scholarship schemes. Yes, is any other questions? Is any other questions?
No question, Amol.
Okay, okay. Datta, can you conclude? Okay, then finally we conclude the webinar.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
okay, madam. Okay, okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on this wonderful occasion of our webinar on career opportunity in startups. First and foremost, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, Mr. Anish Kumar Singh, for taking the time to share his valuable insights, experience, and practical guidance. Your talk has certainly inspired and enlightened all of us about the immense potential and pathways in the startup ecosystem. I extend my sincere thanks to our respected Principal Dr. Rajesh Prasad sir, Vice Principal Dr. Sachin Chavan sir, and Dr. Sunita Zadav madam for constant encouragement and support. Your leadership always motivates us to pursue meaningful and impactful learning initiatives. I special thanks to our head of the department, Dr. Bindu Garg, for her continuous guidance and active involvement in organizing this webinar. I also thanks to Dr. Dattray Jadhav, all the faculty members, and last but not least, a big thank you all the participants for your enthusiastic response and keen interest. Thank you once again and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Amol. Thank you, Amol. It was really very wonderful session, and we got many insights from the technique and the about the college, which you have shared with us in very good manner. Thank you very much to you and speaker today.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Amol sir, and thank you everyone for tuning in. It was really a great experience to really discuss these things out with you guys. And yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Amol, have you taken the attendance?
Yes, sir. Yes, madam.
Okay. Download. Yes.